How's it going, guys? I got some TCGO. In case you did not see the little purple box beforehand, I am playing my Lost World deck against another deck that is designed not to attack whatsoever. If you're a sharp cookie, you should be able to figure out what's going on the first turn. For now, I draw into a Mew, 2 collectors, so I can get set up on the bench with what I want to do. But you see Crushing Hammer, you see the special metal. There are a little bit more supporters than I'm used to seeing on the first turn. And then, you know, there's just a lot of shit. There's Eviolite and then the special metals. I'm thinking right off the bat that this is going to be Durant. Although I do see advantage on his behalf, that kind of surprises me, but whatever. So, get the Mew in play, and he's only got the one Pokemon, so maybe it is Durant because that's all he's running in this deck. I'm just going to draw my cards beforehand and hope that I go first so I can, like, see off first, that kind of thing. I believe he ends up going... Oh, I go first. Okay, that's cool. And he does confirm it right now, his only active Pokemon being Durant. Now, right here, what I should have just gotten 3 Mews, because honestly, that's all I'm going to need. Mr. Mime being kind of stupid, because if he's gonna have a Durant, he's going to play it. So, like, I don't need to look in his hand to see if there's going to be any basics or anything like that. I don't need to show him my hand either in case he's going to go ahead and end it out. I do have another collector, though, so I'm just going to go ahead and make up for that next turn, unless he shuffles out my hand, which I don't think he does. For the time being, I have the 1 Psychic Energy. Going to use that to see off a Gengar, and that's going to make me the offensive force in this game. So, there aren't a lot of Pokemon in his deck, that's the problem, and he's not going to want to keep him in his hand. He's not going to have problems with a full bench or anything like that. So, the thing I'm going to have to do right here is knock out by Curse Drop for a lot of this shit. And, you know, if I can get a Gengar set up and use Curse Drop to knock them out, that way they go to the Lost Zone, then maybe I can win by Lost World if he's running more than, like, 6 Pokemon, I would hope. Otherwise, I'll just end up knocking out everything on the field for the win. But I'm not going to get to basically hurl anything out of his hand, and then I kind of have a little stupid moment right there, because I'm trying to play and eat chips at the same time. And I put my mouse next to the chip bag, and I scroll up really stupidly. But I'm kind of rambling just because he's using Dual Ball and a bunch of shit just to, you know, get stuff into play. And he uses up all of the cards in his hand except for Juniper. So once he puts it down, he gets to get a new hand. Lucky him. Or not lucky, just really well coordinated of him, I guess. But goes for an Alpha Lithograph. This is the one that lets you look at all of your face-down prize cards. Kind of a standard thing in Durant decks. Just in case, you know, you do end up... having one of your Durants being prized, but he doesn't see it. I don't know if he wasn't paying attention before. He really didn't have to use that, I guess, but he can go for the Dual Ball right now. He Junk Armed for it, and if he gets at least 1 heads, he'll be able to get all 4 of his Durants into play on the first turn, meaning that he'll be milling off 4. But if you look at my side of the field for a little bit, or at least my hand, I have a Seeker. I have 1 Psychic Energy on that Mew if he decides to go for Crushing Hammers or anything like that. I have another Psychic Energy I can put onto it. One of those Durants is going to be getting a big fuck you. But speaking of fuck yous, can you see what he did? In case you weren't paying attention to the discard pile on the right, he mills off both of my Lost Worlds in 1 shot. In 1 fell swoop. So any plans I had of winning by hurling are gone. I'm going to have to do this the long way and just do it by knockout. And that kind of sucks. But I'm going to go ahead and Seeker. I got stuff on the bench. Doesn't really matter anyway. I'll just put Cleffa back into my hand. And then as opposed to attacking anything, fuck you to Durant. And now the maximum amount of cards he can mill at one time is going to be 3. Tops. And then if I knock out something, it'll be 2. Just kind of looking for my Seekers. That way I can get all these Durants back into his hand and potentially keep the maximum milling at 1. Because that's all this deck does. Like, really, it does nothing else. It's stupid. So I'm going to go for the Dual Ball, gets himself a Rotom. I suppose this is just to swipe relevant cards from his prize cards, you know, back into his deck. I guess he sees a couple or he's just doing it just because, but that's the Poke Power. You swap one of your prize cards with the top card of your deck. So he mills off a couple of other things. The only thing that's really hurting me that he milled off was Oak, because I don't really like this hand, but I can kind of wait on it because I have a couple Psychic Energies. I'm worried about Crushing Hammers, because then I won't be able to Curse Drop. But I'm going to go ahead and go for my second collector, I believe, and I need to keep the field light, lest I get caught up by catchers and then I need to waste energies, things like that. So everything on the field, just with that in mind, has free treat, and I'm going to go ahead and, I believe, just stay in and Curse Drop some things. I mean, since I hurled off one of his Durants, I can go for Vice Grip. But the thing with that is Vice Grip, well, Curse Drop is not blocked by any sort of damage thing. It's not affected by weakness or resistance. I don't even think it counts as damage at all. Like I don't think it triggers Rocky Helmet. You're just putting counters onto it. I don't really know how else to explain it. But I put 4 of those on Durant, meaning that it will be knocked out next turn. And that's all I can really do. But he tries to go for Crushing Hammer, ends up failing. If he has a Junk Arm, he could go for it again, but I don't think he has it. It's going to be kind of stupid to catch her here because everything on the field is free treat, and I can just go back and forth in a 1. I just want to set all my Mews up with Psychic Energies and Curse Drop as much as I can before he ends up milling everything off. And then he puts down a Mime Jr., not really sure why. Also plays a Defender, not really sure why. I mean, he probably plays the Mime Jr. just to not have it be Hurl, but he already discarded both of my Lost Worlds anyway. I only run 2, and that kind of sucks. So I'm going to go ahead and Curse Drop. I believe I decide to go straight for the Durant just to minimize the amount of milling he's doing, and I mean, if he wants to revive it or whatever, that's fine. Thing I kind of want to bait him into doing is going into Mime Jr. and like milling out one of my cards from the top of the deck, and then I can catcher it away to wake it up, kill it off, and then go into something else. So I'm not sure whether or not he's going to do that on this turn, but he goes for a Collector, and I'm wondering whether or not he has another Pokemon, but he has a Cleffa, and all these low HP basics are really going to benefit me because they're going to make it for easy knockouts. 3 out of my 4 counters can go on one of them to take a prize, and then 1 can just go on a Durant, or anything like that, you know. For now, what do I got? He doesn't put the Cleffa down, though, which strikes me as a little odd, but he puts it down now, so it's whatever. I can take these guys out real quick, and I haven't shuffled out my hand yet. I also draw into a Psychic Energy, which is really awesome. It means my second poke is going to be able to Curse Drop, and, you know, my second Mew. So I'm going to go ahead and Judge out because I got that as my prize card, and that is going to be my means of shuffling. Also have a catcher to wake up babies and things like that, but I believe I'm going to try to knock one of them out right now, or maybe I just go straight for a Durant. I'm going to knock out a baby. I'm going to knock out a Cleffa because I don't really want him shuffling out his hand too easily. And then I'm just going to go ahead and leave that extra damage counter on that Durant in the front just because fuck you. Now, if you're keeping in mind the damage counters that I'm leaving, if I leave 3 on the Mime Jr., and then 1 more on the Durant, I can knock out the Durant on the turn after, and then we're just kind of good to go. Eviolite is still not fixed. I did fight a Durant deck, I believe, 2 weeks ago, where a girl, like, triple Eviolited, and I'm like, excuse you, bitch? Holy shit, this is rude. I don't remember if he does that, but I fought somebody this morning that did it, and I believe it was actually from the grass. No, it wasn't from the grass deck. It was from a different one. I'll talk about it when it comes along, but he's going to go for the Crushing Hammer, try to get rid of some of my energy. I got plenty in my hand, as you can see, so I'm not really worried about it. What I want to come into, though, is Seekers, so I can get rid of these damn things for good, forever. It's one of the only ways to completely get rid of the ants. Otherwise, you can Junk Arm for revives, and it's just nasty. So I do have a Junk Arm, so I can Junk Arm out for a catcher, in case Mime Jr. wants to come in or whatever. But I think I just end up dropping it right now. So there's another one. There's 10. There's 20. There's 30. That thing's out. And then I bypass Eviolite completely and then just put another counter on it, meaning I can knock it out next turn. Also draw into another energy. And as you can see, it's a slow offense, but it's the only offense. It's the only way I'm going to win this game. And it's technically not damage at all. So there's that. He's going to go for the Professor Oak, decides to shuffle out. And I think he's actually running a little bit lower than I am, which I find really funny. He's only got 13 cards in his deck. I've got 21. You're kind of going in the wrong direction with that guy, but he's going to go ahead and double Eviolite, which is like, if I was running a conventional deck, I'd be pissed. But because it goes through it, I don't care. He can do what he wants. Mills off a Super Rod, which I am not a big fan of at all. I was actually going to use that to put shit back into my deck, but whatever. For now, I put another Psychic Energy on the Mew. The one on the bench is able to Curse Drop, so I'm going to go ahead and just prep the other ones. And then I'm going to go ahead and knock out this active Durant with 4 damage counters. And now the score is 2-6. If I draw into Twins, I think I can Junk Arm, but I'm pretty sure they already got discarded anyway. There's only 2 Durants in play, so that's pretty cool. Got 17 cards. He's got a Revive in his hand, as expected. So that one I just knocked out is back. Fucking Ant is back again. And I'm just going to have to keep knocking these guys out. It's looking pretty bad for me right now because it will only take him a couple more just to knock things out. So I need to come into my Seeker pretty soon. If Seeker was an item card, that would be awesome. But thankfully, he's not taking them out. And I managed to draw into it, which is the one thing I really wanted. So I am going to go ahead and retreat, I believe. No, why am I curse dropping? I don't really understand why I'm curse. Oh, you know why I'm curse dropping? So I can knock out the Rotom, so he won't be tempted to Seeker that up instead of the Durant. I'm thinking for once. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. I almost thought I was stupid, but that's actually accidentally a good play, I guess. Drawn to another one. He's like milling all the stuff off that I fucking need. So now I'm able to get rid of 2 of these fucking ants, but I'm going to go ahead and knock out the Rotom first off, and then put 2 damage counters on the active Durant. That way he can't Seeker up anything from the bench. And we're good to go. As you can see, I do have the Junk Arm, so I plan on using that for one of the Super Rods. That way I can put stuff back from my discard pile into the deck, since the stuff from my hand has no way of going back into my deck. He milled off a Judge too, so that kind of sucks. Definitely going to go ahead and Junk Arm out anything, really. I decided Ghastly and a Twins, just because, whatever. Get myself a Super Rod. Pretty important against these kinds of decks, just because it lets you put whatever the fuck you want back into your deck. As you can see, there's a lot of shit. So I'm actually going to put back all Psychic Energies, just because I'm probably going to need them. And what do I do right now? All 3 of these guys are good to go on Curse Dropping and Hurling. I got that one all the way over on the left, but he's going to be okay. So, in fact, I'm going to use him to put him back up into my hand. And then what this lets me do is say fuck you to the second Durant, and then that thing is gone for good. I can also Seeker up the third Durant, and that way his milling will just be reduced to 1, so that's pretty hot. For now, hurl it off. That thing goes in the lost zone. See ya, bitch. 2 out of 4, and that's how it works. Now, because he milled off that other Seeker, I'm not able to use it. I'm just really glad he didn't mill off anymore. For now, he's only got 2, and then Seeker happens again because I drew into it, and then there were 1. What's that, bitch? That's right. Fuck you, Durant. Fuck you. Okay, 3 left, and then 1 to go. He can revive Rotom now, which I think he should have done a long time. Actually, I think he Super Rods for the Rotom. Because he doesn't have any revives or something like that. I don't know. I definitely would have revived Rotom a long time ago. That way we could have avoided that whole thing. But I've essentially neutered his milling stuff, so we're good to go. He's going to go for the Pokemon Collector, and I believe he doesn't get it, which kind of confuses me. I don't remember if he does. If he does, great. If he doesn't, whatever. No, he doesn't get it, so that's a little surprising, I guess. As you can see, things are looking pretty good for me against Durant, for once. Actually, no, not for once. I do decent against this deck as is. Just going to attack and Curse Drop. And if I start running low on cards in my deck, I can use that Oak. But because there's only just the one fucking Durant, we're good to go. What does he do right now? I'm pretty sure he can just, like, P-Com or Dual Ball out for that Rotom. But I don't know what he's doing. We're getting near the end of the video anyway. When the fuck did he get that? Did he draw into it? He probably drew into it, and he just used Super Rod to put shit back. But he's only able to mill off 1, and then it finally ends up that I'm able to kill off all these fucking ants and get my prizes. And that's awesome. So I milled off 3 of them, killed off a bunch, and this is the funniest screen ever. I got all my prizes, but there's no MVP because no one did any damage. I technically didn't do any damage, and he didn't attack me. What? That never happens. So that was pretty cool. That was a cool thing. I posted about it on Facebook. Some of you guys were probably expecting this shit, but regardless, it was still a really fun game with Lost World. I don't get many like that, so consider this a treat. If you guys enjoyed it, you're welcome to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe to your thing. I got 4 more videos from this morning on the way, so make sure to look forward to those. They're all just about as interesting as the games I've been uploading, and I'm really happy that they all decided to go that way. So, with that in mind, I will see you guys on the next one.